On April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon disaster changed the lives of millions living near the Gulf of Mexico, as well as the scientists who responded to the crisis. These are some of their stories, intimate portraits of research, innovation, discovery. Welcome. I'm Jim McNamee, editor of Dispatches from the Gulf, a series of documentaries, short videos, and podcasts. Today I'd like to share with you a series of short, first-person accounts about how the Deepwater Horizon oil spill affected the mental health of communities all along the Gulf Coast. Though what you're about to hear is a deeply emotional roller coaster of a ride, in the end, there are glimmers of hope.
When the explosion of the Deepwater Horizon rig occurred, we were all in shock. We all saw the horrific pictures. We all thought and prayed for the families of the crew members on the rig. We were dealing with so many unknowns.
We felt as if we were losing control of our freedom, control of everything. We weren't allowed to go on the beach, couldn't get to our restaurants or anything else because it was just packed with workers, news media. It was a circus. And there was quite a bit of anger.
Well, everybody was panicking. I mean, you got to understand, in 2004, we had Hurricane Ivan, then you had Katrina, then the housing bubble burst, then you had the financial crisis, and then you have an oil spill.
I think many people realize that the spill hurt us mentally in a sense that it kind of shocked a lot of the fishermen. It wasn't like a storm where you know that it's going to pass, and then you just kind of rebuild and pick up and go back right to work.
My boats were making 60 sacks a day, and then suddenly after the spill, went out there and found nothing but dead oysters. I mean, everything was dead. This community is dead. It pushed it into poverty like we have never saw before. I mean, we talking about family breakup, children not getting the support they need from the parents because they just don't have the finance to support them.
The impact of the oil really was twofold for our tribe, the United Home Nation. A lot of tension builds up within the family, friction builds up. So not only was it the fisherman, but also you had the oil field worker that wasn't able to go out. All of them were in this state of depression and wondering about how they're going to make it from check to check or week to week.
I've seen the toll that this oil spill took on so many different families. I mean, you've seen substance abuse just escalate. You've seen divorces. The family unit broke apart. It was just a scary, scary time.
Folks they lost their homes, declared bankruptcy, they lost their businesses. Families split up over the emotional, financial angst and stress that was created by the spill. Unless you were here, it's just hard to describe.
It caused so much anxiety. Unfortunately, one of our local charter boat captains took his own life. We continue to keep their family in our prayers and thoughts when we talk about the spill.
Dr. Steve Piku is a professor of sociology at the University of South Alabama and director of the Coastal Resource and Resiliency Center. He and his colleagues are working to understand and ease the impact of the oil spill.
The notion that mental health impacts are not a real serious thing to be concerned about from oil spills is not true. We know there have been social, psychological, and economic impacts already. People are upset because an event happened, the oil spill, that we were assured would not happen. Because of the immediate economic impacts and certainly the immediate loss of jobs and the loss of fisheries, people became very depressed, still are depressed. They're worried about their future. And of course, over time, we know that depression is a very serious mental health problem.
Thanks to Dr. Piku and his team, mental health programs all along the Gulf Coast have been established to help communities cope with the emotional stress of the oil spill.
Following the Deepwater Horizon, we have also been active in training people across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida to build capacity in underserved and impacted counties and parishes. So the important thing we learned is that, yes, we have serious community impacts. Yes, we can intervene and be somewhat effective in mitigating and reducing these impacts. And yes, communities can come together through participation, through helping others, and rebuild, and most important, transform themselves into what they want to be in the future.
Today, thousands of scientists, oceanographers, chemists, engineers, biologists are all working together to develop newer and better ways to understand and ease the impact of oil spills. To learn more about their work, visit our webpage at dispatchesfromthegulf.com. Funding for this podcast was provided by a grant by the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative. And thanks for listening.